Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 Probots AI cast. My favorite start of this part of the Starcraft 2 campaign was when Jim Raynor said, "It's Starcraft in time," and blasted Mengskoff into space. And so, in the top right, we've got MicroMachinePalacky taking on Eris. I think Eris looking like one of the best AIs out there. I'd have to check the ladder to see the results on that, but definitely a very good bot. Who's a good bot? Yes, Eris is a good bot. And so, we'll see how MicroMachinePalacky is going to take it on. I don't know if there's any relation to the Micro Machine or not. But anyway, let's see. Interesting. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this game, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not, and consider becoming a YouTube member to allow me to buy coffee that gives me fuel to cast more of these games. But yes, leaving a comment, more bots, is the important thing down below, and you guys are always the best when it comes to that. Like, for such a small community, we always blow away the likes and the comments, which is awesome. And so, we'll see how this game's gonna go. I previously casted a very long ZVZ. Eris taking on, oh gosh, Canonana, I believe it was. And that was a really great game. So I thought, alright, we'll cast another one with this red Zerg in it. And so yeah, let's see. We have got a very safe scout by the red Zerg, checking for proxies and all sorts of stuff. And then just hatcheries all over the place. Spawn and pool on the way, and then Micro Machine is just going for a one base expand safely in the main, notably. Got an SCV sort of hanging out at the natural. Going to be throwing up a factory in the natural. That's an interesting place for it, but we'll see. And then a couple of queens on the way here for Eris. Yeah, normal Zerg opening. Couldn't tell it from a pro gamer aside from the 2,700 APM. But, you know, that is actually something that some pro gamers hit when they've got their rapid fire click macros. They hit very high APM at times, and it's like, oh my god, he must be the best pro gamer ever. Look at that APM. It's like, no, he's just got a macro. Okay, let's see here. Queen coming on out. Gonna try and chase that Reaper away. I get the feeling that this Palacky is probably related to the Micro Machine, so we'll see what changes there are and whatnot. Tech Lab going down on that factory, natural base being floated on over, so both bots macroing up here, double racks for the Terran AI. Marines will catch the Overlord of Eris. The Overlord comes on in, but then elects to turn around. Will it be killed off before it makes it back to safety? It's going to be so close. Oh, he does die. Maybe not expecting that many Marines. Interesting question, though, that Overlord deciding to go in and out. I wonder if that was like a calculated thing, and then it turned around as soon as it saw one Marine or two Marines, or what? We've got a Roach Warren on the way for Eris. We saw a lot of Roaches in the last game of it I cast, so wouldn't be surprised to see that again. And then let's see a tank on the way here for Micro Machine. We'll see if there's going to be a bunker or anything on the way. That tank is rallied out across the map, but then of course limited APM, it just grabs that. Gonna put it potentially on that ramp there, and it does, putting a starport at the front and a starport in the main, so double starport. The Reaper still being a pain, yet to be caught and killed. How many units has it killed? None. It's bruised up some Zerglings real bad, but it has not killed any. Okay, so loving this game. Just a small channel update. I'm sadly back to work. So the videos might not be every other day, but if I'm not working too much overtime, I will try and post some videos. And yeah, let's see. Overlord flying on into the main base. This one going to be killed off. The double racks production has allowed a high Marine count for Palacky. Then saying Speedlings won't save you, my friend. As, what do you know? There is Speedlings out. That Reaper's still alive as well, just running back, scouting all over the place. And we shall see if Micro Machine is correct in its prediction that Speedlings will not save Eris. Double tanks out. There's a bunker just being used for mining that gap. I wonder if it would be worth it for Micro Machine to put a Marine in these bunkers. It builds them anyway, and just the defense from that could potentially be something valuable. Tank shooting away on some of those lings there. I believe a Marine or two died. But yeah, that's actually a valid question, because it never actually fills up all the slots, so you could potentially program it to keep the Marine in there. So I wonder if that would be worth it for the bot author, or whether it just uses the unload all function or what. But you imagine you can make a bot probably click on individual units in the bunker, so should be fine. Let's see, Hellion on the way for Micro Machine, just going for Marines, so it's going for that interesting unit composition. However, now it's moving out with its medivacs, some Marines going out on the map. But that is one of the things about Micro Machine that does make it seem a little bit outplayed at times. Well, not outplayed, just it goes for worse compositions than you think maybe it should all the time. But it is getting stim +1. That is one of the good things about the bot. Marines out on the map with this medivac, just moving all over the place. Lings now running all over the place. Marines chasing away an Overseer, so that's very good behavior from Micro Machine. I will have to take a look and see what the difference is after this game of between Micro Machine and MicroMachinePalacky. Let's see. Marines working away on them lings. The tank does get saved, which is nice for the Terran. We're currently at 54 workers to 84, so a definitive lead there for Eris, now going up to 5 bases, which is pretty nice. Infestation pit on the way, tunneling claws on the way, so you imagine when you're building up like this that it's going to be pretty good for the Zerg AI. No harassment or anything really being done. And it does speak volumes to a game like this, that the AI is sort of just playing it out like a normal game. And in a normal game that was played like this, you'd be like, oh yeah, the Terran should probably harass, but we're not seeing any of that, so it's probably good for the Zerg. Hydra's on the way for Eris. Upgrades being researched all over the place off the back of that insane income. 6 base going up. Lings harassing at the 3rd base. Nothing really to defend there. I mean, there's like a tank on the high ground, but that's going to take a while. So some SCVs are going to die. Yet another command center is going up for the Blue Terran, though. Units are being produced, but it is that interesting Micro Machine thing where it's just like, yeah, I'll produce a couple of units here and there, sort of ragtag. But it is getting up some more racks. Getting up another starport, interestingly enough. I don't know what it needs all these starports for. 3. All with reactors on them. Iris saying add mutas. Creep Dropper Lord, interestingly enough. Yeah, a very passive game so far here. Okay, the roach count is growing up for the Red Zerg, currently maxed out. Going for lurkers as well, infestors, which would be very great to see. See how well Micro Machine can contend with that. The tank count is growing for the Terran. Tanks are pretty darn good, very difficult for bots to deal with. However, there is Ravagers in the mix. So this 3rd base is pretty locked down, but supply down 50 for Micro Machine, a 4th base getting up. That is just going to be an orbital, which is a little bit concerning. We usually want to see a planetary for a 4th base, and for good reason. We'll see if that's going to prove true or not. And as some roaches and lings are running already towards that base, yeah, we may want to be seeing that Micro Machine having to pull everything back. No, some of those Marines already stimmed. They're going to try and get on top of some of these roaches, a lot burrowing, running away. There is medivacs to support the Marines, though, but Marines against roaches isn't that good for the Terran when the numbers seem to be in this number. The roaches just burrowing and pulling away, so Micro Machine's got to go through the nightmare of cleaning this up. Marines engaging on the front. Units battling all over the place. Those roaches are burrowed. There must be some detection, or no, they're just being shot when they elect to unburrow. Interestingly enough, more roaches coming on in here for Eris, though. Micro Machine is kind of pushing back on the front, but it's still got to clean up this top left. There was quite a few tanks. I believe some of them repositioned. Some of them may have died. Actually, no tanks died this game, so they all just need to be repositioned a little bit. And there they go. They're now shelling away on those roaches, blowing them up when they pop their head out of the sand. A scan goes down, cleaning up most of this. So, like a normal TVZ, the Terran loses a lot of supply The Zerg loses a lot of supply, but then the Zerg's got the resources to revac this. So this really is showing like a normal game of StarCraft 2 between two humans, two pro players. Tanks getting set up are going to shred those Ravagers and Roaches as they come on in. They do not want to test that area anymore, but then we see some Roaches coming towards the right side, so the sort of multi-pronged defense of Micro Machine is lacking a little bit. SCV is going towards the right side. Interestingly enough, there is a Queen assigned to this Overlord, dropping all over the place, so spreading the creep. But yeah, if these tanks were split up, some to each base, that would look a lot better for Micro Machine. It doesn't seem to have that sort of unit control, however. They are doing a lot of work, though, against this, but whether eventually Eris will be able to sort of take out a base while the tanks are out of position, that's what we'll have to wait and see. A Lurker is set up now. Scans going down. Tank being repaired by SCVs, which is nice for Micro Machine, keeping those alive. These tanks are shooting all over the place. Those Hydras dying all over the place as a result. Third base still secure. Fourth base secure. Micro Machine somehow gets a command center up in the top left. So the Terran AI is still in this, up at a pretty healthy worker count. Resources lost, definitely ahead for the Terran, thanks to those tanks. More tanks and Vikings being produced as well. So I don't know which bot's going to win this. Somehow a command center started in the bottom right. Clearly, Eris does not account for blocking those. SCV's now running over there. We'll see if it's going to be one of those weird bot things where they both kind of just ignore that or not. Yeah, Micro Machine looking to poke on in a little bit. There is a tank, though, or a Lurker that's working away on these tanks. So bit of bad behavior there. Tanks are moving forward. I don't know where they're going exactly, but Lings do harass the bottom right. They were singular Ling. SCV's not scrapping, just dying. That's unfortunate. Lings burrowing for Eris. So there is some counter damage being done by Micro Machine. The supply for the Terran AI is going up. Tag are as Viper food, so presumably those Vipers are eaten somewhere. Or they're actually not. I guess that just means abduct. I don't know. Interesting. Hydra's coming forward. Micro Machine's a little bit split up. This is a bit concerning here. Oh, pardon me. That's my alarm to wake up. The joys of working night shift. You're just going about your day at 3 a.m. and then or 3 p.m. and then you're like, oh, my alarm to go off. I forgot to turn that off. Okay. Eris is pushing on in. I mean, Micro Machine held with less supply before, so we'll see if it can hold again. The Zerg is all over the place. So is the Terran. So this is just a big scrap, but this big Zerg force is a little bit concerning. The fourth base hasn't fallen just yet. Tanks are repositioning. If that Lurker can get cleaned up, that would be huge for Micro Machine when it comes to dealing with this. Now the Marines and Marauders are coming on in. They're getting shredded a little bit, though. This fourth base really taking a lot of heat. How's the base in the top left going? Okay, how's the base in the bottom right being re-established after it was canceled? So there is economic damage happening to Micro Machine. This is a great game here between these two AI. I'm hoping that Micro Machine can hold on here, as I want to see this game go even later. But it's looking a little bit rough. The Vipers getting some value with their blinding clouds and ducks earlier. We'll see if Micro Machine can hold on. How many tanks are there? Only 3, which is a little bit concerning. So the trades seem to have got a little bit worse for the blue Terran. And when there's a Zerg on 90 drones, AI or not, you do not do too well as the Terran if the Zerg just attacks in and attacks in. Now, the Vikings are chasing away the Vipers, which is real good. Parasitic Bomb actually gets forced out, landing the Viking to avoid the Parasitic Bomb. I love that. Okay, a tag for Eris, Parasitic Bomb at 13:38, so we're now 14 minutes into this game just about. Mutas are coming on in. There is Vikings out for Micro Machine that can chase them around, but we did see in the previous cast that the Mutas were willing to run all over the map, so we'll see if Micro Machine can chase these down. SCVs are trying to avoid the Mutas. They're sort of panicking and running all over the place. The mining for Micro Machine is pretty much the top left. That's about it. The upgrades stopped for Micro Machine. Eris does have +3 missile attack, getting more upgrades as well. Carapace, so it's just like Micro Machine, yeah. It does some things right, but then when it comes to playing the late game, it doesn't feel like it plays as efficiently as it could. Then again, that could just not really be possible depending on the overall design for the bot. But yeah, this base in the bottom right being harassed. Micro Machine is in a bit of a spot of bother. I mean, it's holding on, It's got the base in the upper left mining, so as long as that's not harassed, Micro Machine, I think, can stay in this. The SCVs are trying to stay alive and defend this position. Mutas, Hydras coming on in, Marines doing what they can. The Marines would be better off with better upgrades, but they're just not there, so then they're fighting 3 attack, 3 armor Hydras, which is really tricky, so seems to be a couple bot games in a row, actually, that upgrades are a big factor. And that, I guess, kind of coincides when the trades got worse there for Micro Machine, the lack of upgrades. So, who knows? These Vikings not pursuing the Mutas, they're sort of kept at bay by the Hydras, and so chaos is reigning in the main. Micro Machine now down below 100 supply. I think we do have the victor for this match. Eris making some Spore Crawlers expanding all over the place. And yeah, Micro Machine scanning. Where were those scans? I wonder. I did not see, maybe just because of burrowed units or something, but yeah, the natural broken, the main base is being worked on these Marines. They do make a final stand, which they sort of actually start firing more, but then they're just still trying to do that thing, which they run away. And then let's see. Tank gets abducted. Viper usage is pretty great for Eris, and yeah, the natural gets broken, so I think that's going to be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Join the Discord, consider becoming a YouTube member, and if you're a bot author or a bot fan, send me your replays in the Discord. A good Spore Forest, by the way, for Eris, which I like to see. And yeah, I believe that's going to be it. Buildings lifting off through Micro Machine. I believe Micro Machine is a bot that does GG eventually, though. We see tag floating structures. Yeah. I do believe that's it. Oh man, how many units are left? There was a medivac, and that is now gone. GG.